Hey, what's going on? What's happening? The romantic funny man, Shawn Cornelius here, After Dark with Shawn Cornelius. I've got such a great show for you tonight, and I'm glad that you're out there joining me. I move around a little bit, so I moved around and got another little setting. So for this show, but we're gonna have a great show. I've got such a fantastic and intelligent and interesting guest today. But I want to first say thank you to Bronxnet for airing the After Dark with Shawn Cornelius show, putting it out there on Bronxnet and Fios. You can catch the show. Hopefully, you're sitting back, relaxed. Everybody knows what's going on, basically. So you should be in your spot. You should be in your spot. You should be ready. You should be ready for the show. So because I got a great one. So I don't want to take up too much time with the beginning because I want to let this brother come in and do his conversation. And you know how we do. We have a little fun. But I want you to know what's going on. And he goes by the name of Mr. Hey Now. This was brought to me by a former producer who produced on the show, Denise. And she checked out Instagram and found this brother and I found him to be very interesting. And I looked at his page and we're friends now on the page. He's got so much going on with his pets. He's got so much going. Matter of fact, I wrote some stuff down that I'm definitely going to talk to him about. He's definitely a public figure. He's going to talk about his mental health situation, his turnaround story, his hustling situation, his puppies. Listen, he sings. I saw a lot of his posts where he plays the guitar and he sings. So that should be something that we have in common because I play instruments as well. It's just going to be a fantastic time, and we're going to enjoy. So you know what? But I'm not even going to delay no longer. Let's bring him in. Let's talk to him. Let's have some fun. Let's communicate, and you find out who exactly Mr. Hey Now is right now. What's going on, brother? How are you?
I am free. Like I woke up free. Like my mantra in life be kind of different from people. Like I'm just kind of into the simpler things. I just keep it simple.
Right. Well, I'm glad to have you on the show. Trying to get you on.
I
Yeah,
appreciate you for having me.
yeah, no problem, man. Thank you for clearing up your schedule. It is definitely it's a nice day to have a conversation with a brother who's got so much going on. So I definitely want the people to know who you are, where you're from, all that interesting stuff. So why don't you just go ahead and tell them a little bit about who you are, and then we'll get into why you're here on the show.
Okay, first, if you don't know me, my name Mr. Hey Now. I pop right up on Google. Right now, I was born in Kansas City. I grew up in St. Louis, and I've been doing a whole lot of traveling my whole life, minus the little setback I made in my life. So that's just kind of my beginning story. Like my life didn't really take off in a positive manner until I changed it, and I changed it for a reason. My word kind of mean everything to me, and I gave my mother my word I would do something other than what I had been doing, and that's what got me sitting in this chair having this conversation with y'all.
Yeah, and you mentioned a little bit about that, so you can talk about whatever you want to talk about, man. But we know that you had a stint that outside. You said sitting in the chair enjoying life, and you're out there doing your thing now. Let's start. You are now in Kansas City. You said
No, I reside in misery. Oh, this gonna
you
sound this gonna sound crazy, but this is just how I look at it, right? I
sure
live in misery, and I spell it just like that, Miseory. You might call it Missouri.
Missouri,
I
right,
don't, right? Like
right.
so. No, I reside in the St. Louis side of misery. I'm from
Okay,
St. Louis, Missouri.
okay, all right. Well, that's cool. Let's start at the beginning, man. When you started doing your thing, you had told me we talked a little bit off camera, and you told me how that you had some situations going on, which kind of led you to where you went, and then you came out and you did certain things.
Yeah.
What was the growing up like in where you were?
Okay. So you want to go back that far?
We can
Like
go back.
okay.
Yeah, we can go
So
back and bring it up.
so so let's go back that far. I
Sure.
am this bring that will bring up the conversation of mental health. I've been mentally disturbed most of my life. So as a young black male, I got in all the trouble in the world, right? So following in the street codes, ethics, and politics, when you play on that side of it, there are consequences and repercussions to your actions. I did an action that caused a consequence, and it sent me to the penitentiary.
Okay, and how long were you in the penitentiary, if you don't mind?
Which time?
Okay, how many times were you in the penitentiary?
I've been to the penitentiary twice. The first time I did, same sentence, parole violation, long story, but it's in the book, right?
Yeah.
So I went to the penitentiary in 96. I got out in 2010. I went to prison before the internet ever existed, right?
Okay.
So I came home in 2010, reintroduced to society with a different world than the one that I left. So you can only imagine like the distance between dealing with people in society coming from when I left wasn't no internet. When I came home, the internet had been up 5-10 years, and that's what everybody was using. And I had to reintegrate myself into this part of society. The world different, right? The world is a different place. I grew up in a different era. So when I came home, the world was a whole different place. It was like a different ball field for you to play in. And that led me right back.
Right, right. And because you were telling me that you were a hustler. You had a hustler's mentality.
Yeah, I've been playing in the streets my whole life.
Your whole life, and you were going back and forth, and you were being integrated with the things that are going on in the world, because the world don't stop for nobody. It just keeps moving. So
Right.
when you went in, it moved out, and you came out. You had to integrate yourself to what was going on. So tell them really quick, 2 or 3 minutes, what that's like going in and making those situations, making those mistakes.
Okay, so my perspective on it would be completely different, right? I can't knock nobody for what they do or what they did or how they did it or how they do it. But in my case, I did what I did, right? So I don't have a sob story like them people sent me to jail and I had to, you know what I'm saying? I had to do this, that, and the third to make it through. No, I was an apex predator when I went to prison as a youngster. So I didn't have no problems in jail. Jail was just like the streets for me, kind of. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my prison story ain't like, I don't have a side prison story. Right. I lost a few fights, but my mind state is different on the issue. If you playing in the streets, there's consequences and repercussions that come with that. So if you get into it and you have to suffer those consequences and repercussions, then you act accordingly with the consequences and repercussions. If you get what I'm saying, like I ain't really on. That's why I rarely speak about prison in my social media and all that. I stay away from it because I did that. I was stupid. Like I'm not gonna be trying to tell somebody that my situation called for me to go to jail. No, I was playing in the streets because that's what I wanted to do. That's why I went back to prison the second time, because I had made up my mind that I was gonna die or go to jail playing in the streets.
Right.
So yeah, I came to grips with that in a prison cell. Like this what come with the life. So if this is what come with the life, then you live it like that.
Right. But now you've been out. How long have you been out?
Almost 7 years.
Almost several years, and you know the prison life obviously is for a certain type of individual, and you've done different things to move forward in your life and to make your life you're accustomed to being out of prison.
Well, no, not really.
No.
Right. So I still have. I would say that I'll probably be the first person to get on the internet and tell somebody that I'm institutionalized.
Mm-hmm.
Right? All that prison, being in prison and all of that, I'm institutionalized. I only wear sweatsuits because that's what I wore in prison. I own sweatsuits and tennis shoes with the pockets though. Right. You would have to know about jail and all of that to understand what I mean by that. But people who've been to the joint gonna completely understand what I say when I'm rocking sweats with the pockets, the same way I had when I was in prison. Like, no, I'm institutionalized. So my life kind of carry on that same type of formula out here in the streets. That's what makes it easy for me to deal with, right? Like because if everything that I relate in life, I probably related to something jail related, right? But it's not intentional, but that's what makes the most sense to me. You can teach anybody anything. You just have to relate it into terms that they can understand.
Sure.
That being the majority of my adulthood, I spent the majority of my adulthood in prison. So the majority of my adulthood was ran institutionally, and I came home with that same kind of little mind state, except the morals and principles don't transfer well into society.
Right.
Because but in jail there are consequences and repercussions to your actions. In society, there's not, right? It's not really consequences and repercussions. Anything that you do could possibly take away your freedom. One thing I learned when I went to jail was I learned the law, all of them. Okay. I put all my energy into understanding every law, because you can only break the law if you know it. And they tell you that ignorance is not an excuse of the law. They tell you that. Right? Yeah, they preach that to you. So when you sit in jail, you have all the time in the world to study. So I studied. But I studied the left side. I studied the criminal side of it.
Okay.
Right? Because at that point in my life, I was still living a criminal lifestyle. My life changed when I came home the second time.
Okay. Then I kind of can understand, because I worked in facilities when I was coming through, before I was doing my entertainment stuff, where I worked as a CO in certain places upstate New York. So I can understand what you're saying, and I totally get it. But then you came out and you decided that that's not the situation for you.
No.
You decided to do something.
No.
Go ahead and tell me what you're talking
about. You gotta know the story. Okay, here we go. Let me give you this, because it's gonna make it. That's why I don't be telling nobody, because it's just weird how the story plays itself out. So I came home from prison the second time. Right? I am on the same type of time I was on when I went to jail.
Okay.
Right? I'm hustling and all of that. But at the same time, the missing piece to this story is my mother. My mother named Edna G.
Right.
We'll get to that later. But my mother was dying of multiple sclerosis. While when I went back to jail the second time, my mother was dying. Okay. So my only wish and prayer at night when I was in prison the second time was that I get out of jail before she died. Because that's my mama, and she was my best friend. Like, we kicked it. Like, me and my mother were like friends. We have stories that you probably will believe, but it's people that vouch for them. Like, me and my mama was like that. She was that lady in my life, right? Like, I didn't have a father growing up, not because he left. He died when I was a young age, and my mother told me that she had never let another man raise me that wasn't of the standard of my father, and I didn't understand it growing up. But later on, after I got out of prison the second time, she explained it to me. And now I get why she did what she did and why she treated me like she treated me.
Sure. All right. So you went to prison. You had 2 stints in prison. You got out. You've been out for 7 years, and you decided to do what?
No. Okay. So I got out. Like I said, I got out of prison the second time. My mother is dying from multiple sclerosis.
Right.
You would have to know me and my mama relationship. Like, I'm a fool. So I created a holiday for my mother, right? Because at the time, in my city, I had a nice little social media following on Facebook. I didn't know too much about the internet and all of that because I just came home from prison. So I got me a nice little following of people that follow me on Facebook. So every Tuesday, I would go live with my mama, and we'd have a chit chat. Like, she had a thing for $2 bills. So in real life, I gave her $2 bills probably in any way that you could think of me giving them to her. As just a gift, some money for her to spend and all of that. I was playing in the street, so it wasn't nothing. One day, just on Cohinky Dink, I literally asked my mother on a live video. I got the footage somewhere. I had to pull it up. But I literally asked my mother, dying wish, what do you want from me? And that's when my life changed. My mother told me that she wanted me to stop playing in the streets and stop taking penitentiary chances every day. And that is when my life changed.
And what was the first thing you did to change your life? What was the first thing that you did?
I broke my trap phone and I threw it in the grass at the nursing home where we were standing at. Right.
Okay.
Like I broke my trap phone and threw it away. I'm talking about I cried later, but I did, right? And then, I ain't broke a law since.
Yeah, you know what? Because I looked at your page, and you've got a motivational Monday where you speak to people and you tell them what's going on, or you have a motivation for them, which is a wonderful thing. You also play the guitar. I saw you singing on one post, or you don't play, but you wasn't playing. You were playing around.
I literally found that guitar one day. I was doing something, and something just said, I just be on my type of time, right? Like I just be having fun. I don't take the internet like seriously,
Sure.
right? Like I don't really take it, like it don't really move how my life works, right?
Right.
So I be enjoying myself because this is the reason for that. I come from the trenches, right? All the backstabbing and this, that, and the third, all the negativity that come with playing in the streets and trying to be somebody or do something in the underworld. I already did that. I haven't played a guitar and played with the puppies, or I didn't do that. That wasn't my mantra when I did that stuff. I lived along the lines of doing that. So, guns, drugs, money, all of the things that come with that lifestyle, I was into that when I was into it. Now that I'm not into it, I'm into everything else that ain't got nothing to do with that. If you get what I'm saying.
I totally understand.
Yeah, like I'm trying it. I'm subject to try anything that has nothing to do with breaking the law.
Right.
Right. So that's just kind of my format. I mean, anything that ain't even breaking the law.
Well, and then let's jump into the puppies. You mentioned the puppies. You mentioned the dogs, and I know you got EJ. And I saw again. I looked over you because we're friends on Facebook. I mean Instagram, and I saw you were painting toenails and things on that level. And then, but talk about the dog. Introduce the dogs first, and then go into the story.
Okay, so this is an even longer. That's an even longer story.
Well, we got, we showed it.
I cut it off. I started right here. I am in Atlanta. I am living in Atlanta, going to therapy. Actually, I was literally living in Atlanta, going to therapy. I went to some outpatient treatment with a therapist because I needed to let go. Right, I've been holding on to my mother's passing since I watched her die, and it was kind of eating me up on the inside. So I was in Atlanta going to therapy, and this lady, her name is Denise. She bought EJ for me as a gift, right? Like I got her as a gift. I just got a phone call to go pick up a gift. I didn't even know it was a EJ. Okay. But when I got there, I found out. And when I got the puppy from the lady, I told her that I'm gonna name her after my mother, and I'm gonna give her the best life ever because she be with me. Right. And that being my mantra. But it's a story that go with that. 2017, I make it quick. 2017, November 18th, I had my mother's funeral while she was still alive. The repast chicken wings be amazing. And just me being me, I wanted my mother to taste some on her before she left. I wanted her to taste her repast chicken wings, the one that got made in her honor, because me and my mother had that type of relationship. Plus, she had some other things that she wanted me to do with her body after she died. So she wasn't going to have no funeral, no way. She wanted to be cremated. So there was no reason to pay a whole bunch of money to feed a whole bunch of people when she don't get to see it. Right. So I did it in her lifetime. And while I was there, I told her that I would do everything in my power to make her name live forever. I got the footage. They can't even take it away from me saying it. So I told my mama I'd do everything in my power to try to make her name live forever as a birthday present, because I had given my mother anything that she could ask me for. And I ran out of ideas of stuff that I wanted to give her. But the internet I had caught on to the internet and legacy and all of that. So I'm like, man, if I could do something big enough and attach my mama name to it, it'll live forever. They're gonna put it in the record books. So I'm like, if the lifestyle that I live, I probably could pull it off. And at the time, I had my own little thing I was doing for multiple sclerosis. So on my mother's funeral, me and her gave away a stuffed animal full of money, right, to a lady that had MS, because that's what killed my mama.
Sure.
So fast forward, I'm in Atlanta and Miss Denise bought EJ for me. So I went and picked EJ up, and we've been living that lifestyle that I told her I was gonna give her since I got her. Like, and her fingernails and all of that, I know it's entertaining to the world, but I don't do it for entertainment value, right? I do it for a common sense reason, and let me tell you, the reason why I get EJ nails painted is because it allows me to monitor their growth. So I know when she need to get her nails cut. It ain't because people love it, right? Now, on the back end, people love it, and I completely understand it, but I'm not the one painting her nails. I don't have an opinion on it. I don't care. I just want you to put some paint on them so I know when I need to cut them again.
Right. Okay.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But being that I am a social media figure, and everybody has their own agenda in life and to promote their goods. Every groomer that I ever went to, they offer the service. So they'll paint her nails when they cut them. Make it easy for me to know when they need to be cut. And they do them in all different colors because they love EJ the same way I do, and they want her to show off. So it worked out perfect for me.
It's a fantastic situation.
Yeah, I'm talking about, it's one of the situations that I can't make it up. Like, right. I ain't never went into the groomer like, hey, paint her nails this color right here, unless somebody paid for it with that specific color. Like, if you gonna pay to get EJ nails done, I would tell them to paint her nails whatever color you want them to. But if I'm doing it, I'm just gonna tell the groomer, bro, paint her nails. I don't care.
Right. Now, because you got so much, and I'm sure you got a whole bunch more. And you talk about, I've seen the EJ story. I've seen your mental health situation. You told me about your hustler scenario, and you told me that you've taken over 20 states.
Oh yeah, EJ been to 20 states by herself.
Been around.
Well, not by herself. She was with me. Right? Yeah. So I've been to 20 states since I had.
So what were you doing when you were taking
I was enjoying life. Like, I woke up free. Like, right. I was just enjoying life. I only have an apartment because EJ got spaded.
Okay.
So I got stuck in a lease. So I'm stuck in a lease for a year. While I'm in the lease, I'm building an RV.
Okay.
Because we trying to go knock the rest of the other 30 states off.
Right. Is that a goal? Is that a goal for you? Is that something you set to do? You're going to do that?
Well,
have goals that they.
I'm going to put my best foot forward. Right? Like, I can't say, I don't really call it a goal, but my goal is to see things that people ain't never seen before with my own eyes. You know, the things that people tell you about, all the monuments and landmarks and places. Like, I want to go look and see, you know what I'm saying? I want to see how far away I can get from Area 51 before they tell me I need to go somewhere else. Right? So when you have conversations with people about what you've seen and what you're doing, right? They are completely different from what I want to do and what I have done. Like, I try not to say what I want to do because I ain't did it yet. It ain't in stone.
Right.
But telling you what I already did, what I already accomplished, I could, yeah, that's easy.
Let me ask you a question then. Because, the time goes really fast when you're rocking and rolling, so you got to get in. I want the people to understand you to whatever they can understand you with, and understand how you do with your dogs and your mom and the stories that you're telling. Man, you told some stuff. What is your purpose? We already know about your traveling. What is Mr. Haynow's purpose? What are you
I
trying to
don't.
tell?
Okay, so I don't have one, bro. Let me be honest with you and quick.
Yeah, and that's what I
Right?
mean.
My mother told me. My mother told me to stay out of jail. That's it. Right? She literally told me I could sleep on a park bench for all she cared, as long as I didn't break the law and die in a prison cell. So everything that I do is a plus. I'm not planning, I'm not doing none of that. I'm just living life and trying my best to stay out of trouble. And everything that is coming to me because I'm doing everything I can to stay out of trouble.
Right.
Like, my backstory different. I'm one of the people that don't have a problem going to jail or dying. So when you reverse it, my positivity, it has the same. I take my positivity to the same extreme, because I took my negativity to the same. If you get what I'm saying, like I've been all the way negative, so I'm not negative now. So everything I do, I'm kind of on a positive kick for how extreme it can be. That's what brings in my foster puppy. So I got EJ, and I got reached out to by some groomers, some breeders, because they offered to give me Robert Lee to boost and promote they brand. I said no, because I got EJ and we trying to travel the world. So no, I ain't gonna be able to be traveling the world with two puppies, and I take my puppy everywhere I go. So I left it alone. That was in July. Fast forward a couple months later, I talked to a friend of mine. He like, bro, do you know how much these dogs cost? And this is that and the third. And I'm like, nah, not really. And he put me up on it. I'm like, bro, I've never seen nobody give one away then. If they worth this much, bro, I just love to give one away just so I could say I did that. And I would name it after my father, just because I get the opportunity to. And that's what got me there. How my life works. I did not reach out to the breeders with the idea. They offered me the puppy. I said no. They came back right after I came up with the thought, like, man, I love to give one away. They was trying to give it to me. I want to give it to somebody else. Sure. Right? Let me give it to somebody else, and I could add that to the list of things that I already gave away in my lifetime. Sure. Right? And on the back end, I attach my mama name to it, because the mission is to make my mother's name live forever.
Forever. And then is that the situation with Robert Lee?
Yeah, that's the situation with Robert Lee. Robert Lee named after my father. So at the same time, to have a Robert Lee, my mission is to get into fostering, right?
Okay.
Because that's where the brand deals and all of that come from. So I want to get into fostering. So I'm gonna do Robert Lee. But my idea of fostering is I want to name all the puppies after my relatives.
Right.
Right. I want to foster them and send them to families. And then later on down the line, a few years from now, I throw my own family reunion. And I fly or pay for all my foster puppies to come meet me at a park somewhere, and we hang out and have treats.
Right.
Right.
That's fantastic.
Just because I ain't never seen nobody do it before.
Right. Right. Well, let me ask you a question, man, because people are watching and people are understanding. If you have a minute to give, or a minute and a half to give a positive message or a message to someone off of your life, what would you say to them right now? People that are watching the show.
Listen, under a minute.
Yeah.
My Uncle Percy used to tell me that yesterday is gone and tomorrow will never come. And I didn't understand it as a child. I didn't understand it as a teenager. And as I evolved into adulthood, I understood it. The things that happen in your past, you have to let them go, right? The things that are in your future, you ain't got to them yet. The only thing that you have is right now, this moment. And if you don't make the most of it, there's nobody that you can be upset with but yourself.
Right, right. That's a beautiful thing, man. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah. Like that's my mantra in life. Like
Yeah.
I got so much. I know the positivity and all of that is overreaching, right? It seems like it's to an extreme, right? But in my life, it's not. I'm literally just trying to make up for all the nonsense I did.
Right. Right.
Right. So I'm just hoping when it's over with, right, that they kind of even out.
Sure.
Like that.
Sure. I totally get it, man. Hey, listen, really quickly before I let you take a break, because I know you've been going and you've given out a lot of information. People that want to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you really quickly before we take a little short break?
I'm Mr. Hey Now, right? I said this at first, right? You may not know who I am, but I pop right up on Google, right? If you looking for me, you could put Mr. Hey Now and EJ in anything, and I'm subject to pop up. Send me a message. My phone number is even public, right? If you Google Fresh Out ENT, my company that I closed, right? My number public. I gave it out to the world because I preach mental health, and you more than welcome to call me. I might answer the phone. Right.
That's a beautiful thing. Somebody woke up. But we'll definitely, this is what we're going to do. We'll give you a chance to take a minute, relax yourself. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with more from Mr. Hey Now on After Dark with Shawn Cornelius. Man, it's been a very inspirational your conversation and everything. So I want to thank you for that. When we come back, we're going to get into some of the love, relationship, romance stuff and see what you got there. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll be right back with more After Dark with Shawn Cornelius.
What's happening, family? This is Malik Yoba. I want to send a shout out to my boy Shawn Cornelius for his Enough is Enough movement. Keep raising your voice, keep using your platform, keep doing the work, doing what you need to do to make sure we see the change that we all want to see. And by the way, still waiting on that t-shirt and a hat. And I think you might owe me some money too, man. Just saying, homie. No, love is love. Keep doing the work, bro. Proud of you. Peace.
Yes, I did it. And I did it over and over and over again.
The bad part was I had to steal to get what I wanted, to satisfy my wants, my needs, and my desires.
I mean, everything seemed so good and perfect. Until...
But none of that mattered, because I wanted what I wanted when I wanted it. And what I wanted was...
I know. Stress, no sleep, overeating, over drinking, sex partner after sex partner with no protection. I mean, but I felt like you failed me at times. My confession?
My confession?
My confession is...
My confession?
Thank you for listening.
No more madness, no more sadness. It's time to fix our world.
It's time to start being responsible.
It's time to put the guns down. It's time to stop the racism.
It's time to be my brother and sister's keeper. It's time for real change. It's time for love to begin.
It's time to stop selling drugs in our community.
It's time to be a father to your sons and daughters.
It's time to increase the peace. It's time to increase the love.
It's time to stop domestic violence.
It's time to practice safe sex.
It's time to shelter the homeless. It's time to feed the hungry. It's time to stop killing each other.
It's time.
It's time.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is comedian Tony Tone, and you're watching After Dark with the host with the most, Shawn Cornelius. My man.
Yes, yes, yes. We are back on After Dark with Shawn Cornelius and my very special guest, Mr. Hey Now.
Hey
And
now.
are you ready, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always ask everybody this question: are they ready when they jump into this section? But you gave so much in that first section. I know you needed to go woosah for a minute. So did you woosah?
Man, look, I left a whole bunch. We didn't talk about books, music, merch, none of that. Like
I'm gonna have to have you back because you got so much going on.
Yeah,
You
like
know what? I'm sorry. I usually start this off and jump into this section, but really quick, I know you got books and you got things going on. Really quickly, like for 5 minutes, let's talk about that really quickly.
We could talk about that in this section.
That's what I'm saying. So, okay, all right. So as we go, you'll mention that.
So look, abracadabra.
Listen, you jumped ahead of me before I even asked you for.
Abracadabra.
We are abracadabra, and we are still here. We're gonna have some more fun with Mr. Hey Now, and he doesn't really know about this section like my guests don't know, but these are true answers, and we're gonna get some honesty. So we've been getting honesty the whole show. Let me ask you a question, really quick. What to you, your definition of love? What is love?
My definition of love is that which you go through with somebody. Yes, sir. Hold on. My definition of love different than everybody else's. My definition of love is what we go through together. That's how I determine if you love me. Love is an action. It's not something you say. Right. My definition of love is literally that which you go through with somebody. I got it from my old head and it makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, that works out for me. And I see you over there now. Somebody woke up or got out of their situation.
He didn't got up. Hold on. Let me treat him.
Yeah, it's no problem. You want to make sure that you got to do what you do, man. And this is perfect. So you're in your environment, basically taking care of business. Oh, let me see the little fella back there.
That's EJ.
That's EJ. EJ just wanted to eat. Woke up from the nap.
She heard treats and she got up. She knows.
Right. She knows what's going on. All right. Well, what's romance to you while you're doing your thing? What is romance?
I don't really have my definition of romance might be different than somebody else's. Like I feel like romance is like the movements, right? Like you can make anything romantic. It just depends on how you do it. Right? So I don't really.
Now these questions are individual, so it's whatever they are to you. That's what it means.
I'm just trying to. I'm living life on the time clock, and I don't know when the time's supposed to run out, right? So at this point in my life, I enjoy every moment that I have. I'm not putting nothing on nothing that don't need to be there. So significant other, at this point now I ain't got one, right? So I don't really have like my relationship. I'm the poster boy for failed relationships.
You're the poster boy for failed relationships.
Yes.
Okay, all right, but you've had them though. Obviously, that failed them.
Listen, I come with a warning, literally.
You said you come with a warning. What's your warning?
No, literally, I literally come with a warning, along with a whole bunch of. You know how there are people in the world that say that you should come with a warning, right? Right. I literally went and got a warning tattooed on my back.
Oh, you have a warning, but what is a warning without?
With the toxic sign, I'm toxic.
You're toxic.
Yes.
So that is your romantic, your meaning for romance.
That's my red. You know in the younger age, that is my red flag.
Right. Because that's what people look for.
Right. Yeah. I'm toxic. Right. I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna love you to death. Right. And as soon as you do something I don't like, I'm gonna stop loving you.
Okay. All right. So that's cool. Well, then that jumps. Let's jump into this next one because that leads right into this. You're walking around. You might be walking EJ. You might be walking your dog. You're moving things out the way, and you kick a can, and all of a sudden a genie pops out, and the genie happens to be me. And I'm working on my 3 wishes, but I got 1 wish to give you that involves love. What is your 1 wish that you might have for love? Then?
A wish for love?
It could be
that it be real, okay, like unconditional. If I could have a single wish for love, my wish for love would be that it would be unconditional. Love comes with so many conditions and clauses in small print that you don't pay no attention to when you get involved in that type of interaction. So I would, what, Papa? I gave you a treat. What? What? I gave you a treat. What? If you want to go potty, go to the door. I'll take you out. I promise. Right? So yeah, that unconditional love is all I would ask for. Because all the love I've been getting come with small print. And I have glasses. I can't read it. I usually fumble. That's why I'm the poster boy for failed relationships, because I can't read the small print. I always come on.
Yeah, it wants that love session. That's love time. That's that you time.
Come on. No, the thing is, when I don't usually be talking to nobody, so when I be talking to people, they pop up. Come on.
Because you're giving your attention to somewhere else.
Yes, my attention is not, as long as I'm not bothering them, they not bothering me. But as soon as I start doing something else,
right.
I need your attention. I want you to love me.
So that means that you give them a lot of attention then. If the focus like that, it turns that way.
Well, I give them the same thing that you, what I'm learning is fostering this puppy has taught me a lot about relationships.
Right.
As far as how they interact. Now I give them attention, but I be more so watching them opposed to them watching me. If you get what I'm saying. I watch their interactions because they just like, for some odd reason, they be just like people.
Sure.
Right? Like the jealousy, the backbiting, the fighting, and then making up. Right? Like it's just like real people. That's what caught my attention to.
Well, do you consider yourself unique? What makes you so unique? Because this situation is different. You know, like even on this show, where I've had people doing a lot of interacting with other folks and things on that level, but you treat them like they want to be treated. You don't treat them like they're puppies. You just treat them as beings, and you show love and you show respect, and they treat you the same way. What makes you so unique?
But the thing that makes me unique is I don't feel like I'm unique. Common sense ain't common to everybody, but my life kind of based on common sense. I don't really have a unique, I don't feel like I'm better or worse than nobody. I am existing in the same time frame you existed. Maybe we're running to each other.
Right. No, that's understandable. So let me ask you this then. What you appreciate life, you've been through things that you obviously can show positivity towards, and that's a wonderful thing. What are 5 things about the world that you love then? Do you have a love for 5 things?
No, not really.
How many things can you tell me that you actually love?
So my love would be life. I know the puppies would come up in that, right? But I don't look at them like that. I look at them like they part of my life. So I treat them like they part of my life. So other than that, we just going through life, right? It'd be hard to explain because it's the idea is so simple that it get complicated. I'm living every day. I'm living and enjoying every day like I might not wake up tomorrow. Literally.
Right.
But at the same time, I put my foot down on leaving my mark on the world, if you get what I'm saying.
Sure. I totally understand you. And is your life surrounded by basically you and your puppies?
No.
Okay, so what else do you enjoy? Is there something outside of your puppies that you enjoy?
We be everywhere. You subject to run into, if you in the city of St. Louis, you subject to run into us anywhere. I be outside, like, because I'm not gonna spend all day in the cell. Forgive me, I call where I stay a cell. I told you I was institutionalized.
Sure.
Right? So we not gonna be stuck in the cell. The only reason we here now is because I'm talking to you. Like, we would be outside somewhere running around. We trying to frolic the world, see things we ain't never seen before. And I enjoy running into people that want to play with them.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that be my, whatever it is that I got going on throughout the day, we outside, the mall, all that. We going. We not sticking, we not staying, we not hiding from nobody or trying not to be seen or use our popularity as to boost something. Nah, we be outside. I am a regular person.
Right.
And I live like a regular person. You subject to see me anywhere.
So okay. So on that level, then I can tell from your conversation basically some of the things that attract you. You know, you love being outside, you love doing things, but what are some of the things that are not attractive to you? Because you mentioned quite a few things that you do to enjoy life.
Bro,
What are some of the things that you don't like about life?
Bro, anything that might send me to jail.
Right.
Like my philosophy different. I stay away from anything in the negative fashion, whether it be in conversation, in action, hypothetical situations, and all of that. I stay away from anything that could go left. That's the motto, right? If you do everything in your power to stay out of trouble, everything else in life will come to you. So I don't plan. I just be going through life. Everything that happens, and you either capitalize on it or you don't.
So, and I can tell from the conversation and just even watching that you love your puppies. You love your dog. You love your dog.
So let me say this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love anything that's around me. That's the part that will get lost in translation.
Mm-hmm.
Not that this is not, okay, people would call this loving the puppies. I didn't grow up like that. This is normal. This is what you're supposed to do.
Sure.
Right? So I look at it from I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. Right? If I was a puppy, I want somebody to love me and give me treats and take me out and play with me and all of that. Right? While they did whatever it was that they was doing, don't forget I'm here. So that's what I do. I do all type of stuff for myself throughout the day. They be with me, and then I do all type of stuff for them because they be with me. So I got a foster puppy now. I'm giving him away for Christmas. First of the year, we're going to get him to his forever home. I'm going to take a month off and work on my RV, and then I'm going to foster another puppy. And it's going to get the exact same treatment because that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't do it for the internet. I do it because the karma that come back from doing it right is what I'm looking for. Just so happens for the love and luck of me is so entertaining to the world. That's the catch. I'm not doing it to impress the world. I'm doing it because that's what I would normally do.
Right. And that's what I see. Yeah, that's
flip the coin over. It's impressing to the world where I can capitalize off of it. Right. That's the beauty of now doing everything in my power to stay out of trouble. I just take the things that people bring to me and I make the best out of them.
Sure. No, you're right. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was finished. Like that's just my whole mission statement is to stay out of trouble and see what I can accomplish. That's why I got 4 books and two
That's
more.
what I was going to hit next. I want to talk about the books real quick. You know what I mean? Please talk about the books.
Okay, so I got the romantic love is love. So I have two novels. I have 2 novels. Loud, A Strong Story is the reason why I went back to prison the second time. Then I have December, which is why I say I'm the poster boy of failed relationships. I talk about soul ties and all of those things as I deal with multiple women, right? Because that's been the story of my life anyway, dealing with multiple women. Then I got 2 books of poetry and spoken word because that is what my mama loved. She loved poetry and spoken word, and she the only reason why I write books because she told me she wanted to touch them, and the only way she could touch them is if I published them. So once I started it, I figured out that I could put her name in the books, and she'll live. Her name will be around forever as long as the book's around. As long as they don't have another book burning in the world, we might stick around forever. Right. And then I started a series because people want to know all of the interesting stories that I have in being the poster boy for failed relationships. So I started a series called SOML, and I drop a book I drop a short story every month as far as a relationship situation I had with somebody's daughter.
Right. Well, now where can we find this stuff at?
Amazon, Kindle.
And it goes under Mr. Hey Now?
No, my real name, Damon Smith. If you look up Mr. Hey Now, if you Google Mr. Hey Now, my real name gonna pop up. Like I got my Google search set up like that. My real name will pop up. Then you will see books and
Daniel Smith.
Amazon Kindle. I'm Damon Smith.
Okay, because I know you got over 100,000 followers on your Instagram.
On my Instagram, 100,000 followers, 2.5 million on my TikTok.
Okay. Right.
Like 15,000 on my YouTube. I don't really be on Twitter like that. But all my social media is under the same thing, Mr. Hey Now and EJ.
Right. Hey man, well listen, you got a lot of stuff going on. And
yeah,
one more time, really quick. Can you do me a favor? Can you just run down the books again? And then I want to do something for you because we're running down on time. So just
hold on.
The books.
Here, I'll help you. Here, get down, Papa.
Yeah, that'll be something that we can do, and so people can actually see if you have them. We can just run it down and make sure that they take a look at it.
Okay, here. Now, please, I when you write books, you have them, right?
Yes,
so
yeah, I know. I'm a publisher author myself.
Yeah, I said, listen, I figured out that my signature is not worth something. So
yes, it is.
Every now and then, I sign a book and I send it out. So my books in order are Loud, A Strong Story, right? Written by Damon Smith, right? 0.5. This is the reason. If everybody asked me why I went back to jail the second time and what I had going on, that's the reason why I put it in a book, right? My second book I put out is 142 Thoughts of a Convicted Felon, right? Okay. It's poetry and spoken word. My mother loved poetry and spoken word. Third book, Solitary Confinement, My Walls Are Talking. The cover to this book was taken inside of the same prison cell that I wrote it in. I was at the Missouri State Prison. Okay. I went back and had a photo shoot done for the front and back cover of this book. And also on the third page of this book is a picture of my mother. She shall live forever.
Wow, all right.
Right, my fourth book that I just put out earlier this year. Hold on, Papa. My fourth book that I just put out this year, December, a story about burning my bed. It should tell you just from the title kind of what I'm talking about. On the back end, I hid my story. You heard, sir.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we can definitely hit a dog, so we know exactly what's happening.
Right. So on the back end, I hid my story in between a whole bunch of sexual innuendos that literally happened. Right. So yeah, I just kind of I wrote the book for my cousin. He locked up, and I'm chasing literary figures at this point in my time in my life. I wrote so many books while I was locked up. I'm publishing them all before I begin my travels. That's why I'm sitting still, even doing this, right? Because I'm working on putting out all my books. So I started a series of short stories. It's called SOML, and I drop one every month, right? I think I put out the first two, Sasha and Brielle, and I'm gonna be putting out the third one here in the next week or so.
Oh man, you know what? This has been such a great situation, great conversation, a great listening tool for me because I always learn from my guests, and I appreciate what they have to offer, and I'm sure that people that are watching will appreciate it as well. But I want to wrap the show up really quickly by doing some of your favorites. As you can see, the screen has changed again, and we're now on our favorites. And all I want you to do is this is one word, and we can wrap this show up. We can talk. I mean, I got your number. I'm definitely going to call you and conversate some more about some things that you got, and even maybe probably bring you back so that you can talk about these books, man. I actually have a book thing that I'll tell you about once we get off the air. But I want to just find out your favorites, and then we'll wrap this show up, man. Are you down for that? Just give me one word.
Yes.
All right. Here we go.
But I warn you, like, I really don't have favorites because I'm in the process of trying to try everything.
All right, we'll see. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
There's only 7 of them.
Come on with it.
Your favorite food?
Chinese.
Okay. Your favorite book?
48 Laws of Power.
All right. Your favorite movie?
King of New York or Heat. I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence between the two. Right.
King of New York or Heat?
King of New York or Heat.
Okay. All right. Your favorite flower?
Oh, white rose.
Your favorite drink? It could be non-alcoholic or alcoholic.
That one I don't. Water. Like, I don't really drink. So
right. That's like fine because a lot of people will say water, and water's good for you outside of it being something that's refreshing. Maybe your favorite TV show. It could be a black TV show and a regular TV show.
I just started literally watching TV about a week ago, right? And I'm only watching one series at this time because I'm reviewing it for my YouTube channel. As far as TV go, I try to stay away from it because I don't want to get sucked into what everybody else in the world got going on. Right? If I start looking at that, it will take away from what I got going on. I'm painting my own picture. I'm pushing my own narrative. So I try to stay out of that because I don't want nobody to use something they seen as a reason why I do what I do.
Right. No, that's understandable. That's totally understandable. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Forgive me, right? Forgive me. This is the reason why I spent 17 years in prison. Do you know how much TV I watch? Right? I had a TV my whole prison sentence. That's all I did was sit in front of the TV and try to learn something. I don't want to watch. I want to live it now. I don't want to see it.
And you've been around. You said you're traveling. Your favorite spot in America?
Favorite place I ever been? I've been so many places. I can't. Bulls Bridge.
Where's that?
It's in Connecticut.
Bulls Bridge, Connecticut.
Right. It's in Connecticut. It's like a water feature. Actually, for me, it's a water feature. It's like the waterfalls and raging rivers and all of that.
Sure.
Yeah, I took EJ to go see it, like, cause I want to put my feet in a waterfall and not a man-made waterfall, an actual waterfall.
Hey man, and you know what? On that note, man, I appreciate that. That'll wrap us up, man. That's a wonderful way, and thank you so much for spending time with me.
No, I appreciate it.
And we're going to talk, and we'll keep this going. And I definitely want to, because you got so many things happening. Especially maybe next time, we'll just talk about your books, and bring you on that level. And I'm going to ask you to get some information from you, and it's going to be a wonderful thing. So, hey, I know your dogs are ready to hit the street. I know you're ready to get outside. And thank you for having EJ and the other dog there. What's the other dog's name?
Robert Lee.
Robert Lee, that's right. And thank you so much, man, Mr. Hey Now, for appearing on the show. We appreciate you so much.
Not a problem. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, anytime, man. Hey, listen, and that's going to do it for our show. And we definitely want you to come back and check out After Dark with Shawn Cornelius. We'll have another wonderful guest on. We want to thank Mr. Hey Now and his puppies for being on the show. And as I always say in parting, please go with God in your heart. Have a peace of mind and have a wonderful, wonderful today and tomorrow. So God bless you. Hang on, Mr. Hey Now, and I want to talk to you right after this situation.